Join ForumIAS Academy, trusted by hundreds of toppers, including IAS Rank 1 Shruti Sharma.
Good evening, aspirants. Welcome to the Hindu News Analysis discussion brought to you by ForumIAS for the date of 18th March 2023. So today we will be covering 5 topics from governance, polity, international relations and environment. In addition to it, we will also be discussing 2 previous year prelims questions and also a mains practice question. So straight away, let us move to the first topic of the day. First topic, Maharashtra UP among 7 states to get textile parks. Recently, our Prime Minister listed the states where the textile parks are going to be established under the PM Mitra scheme. So this is done nearly after one and a half years after the PM Mitra scheme came into existence. So this is the news that we are going to see in this topic. Now, know that the states where the textile parks are planned to be set up, see, they are going to be established in Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Karnataka, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. Further know that the scheme got only rupees 200 crores allotted in the 2023 budget. But however, the total outlay for the project is rupees 4,445 crores. So this is all about the news part. Now let us know about the PM Mitra scheme in detail. See, Mitra means Mega Integrated Textile Region and Apparel. The scheme aims to realize the vision of building a Atmanirbhar Bharat. This is done by positioning India strongly on the global textiles map. Know that it is inspired by the 5F vision of the Honorable Prime Minister, which is nothing but farm to fiber, to factory, to fashion, to foreign. See, the aim of this scheme is to create a world-class industrial infrastructure in the textile sector. In that way, it is believed that it would attract cutting-edge technology and boost FDI and local investments in the textile sector. Know that sites for the schemes will be selected by a challenge method, which is based on objective criteria for greenfield and brownfield sites. And for setting up the textile parks, the center received proposals from states which can readily provide free land parcels of more than 1,000 acres along with the textile related facilities and ecosystem. Only after receiving such proposals, the union government selected 7 states for establishing textile parks. Know that all 7 parks in the different states will be set up by the year 2026 to 2027. Now let us see various supports which are provided by the government under the scheme. First is the competitiveness incentive support. Under this scheme, the government will provide a fund of rupees 300 crores to investors who are setting up production facilities. So in this manner, the government incentivizes manufacturing units to get established. And for a greenfield park developer, the center will provide 30% of capital support from the project cost with a cap of rupees 500 crores. And for a brownfield sites developer, the center will provide 30% of capital support from the project cost, but with a outlay with a cap of rupees 200 crore. Then, in addition to all these, investors who set up anchor plants that employ at least 100 people will be eligible for incentives up to rupees 10 crore every year. And this financial support will be for up to 3 years. Next, the developer will get 25-year lease of the park, and this could be extended by another 25 years. And if you take the implementation, firstly know that PM Mitra Park will be developed by a special purpose vehicle which will be owned jointly by the state government and the government of India in a public-private partnership mode. Additionally, each Mitra Park will have an incubation center, a common processing house and a common effluent treatment plant, and also other textile related facilities such as design centers and testing centers. Also, the master developer will develop and maintain the park during the concession period. If we take the Mitra parks, they will have core infrastructure as well as support infrastructure. In core infrastructure, there will be incubation centers, plug and play facilities, developed factory sites, roads, powers, water and wastewater system, along with common processing house and other related facilities. In support infrastructure, there will be workers hostel, housing, logistics park, warehousing, medical training and skill development facilities. If we take the advantages of PM Mitra scheme, see, the scheme intends to generate employment opportunity to approximately 3 lakh youths per park. Then the scheme will offer an opportunity to create an integrated textile value chain right from spinning to weaving, processing, dyeing and printing to garment manufacturing. And mainly all these facilities will be at one location, which would ease business and will reduce logistics cost of the industry. Apart from that, the scheme will also help India in achieving the UN SDG Goal 9, which talks about building resilient infrastructure, promoting sustainable industrialization and fostering innovation. Finally, PM Mitra will also attract FDI. Here, the textile parks are crucial to attract foreign direct investments. And you have to know that from the month of April 2000 to the September of 2020, India's textile sector received just rupees 20,000 crores of FDI, which is just 0.69% of total FDI inflows during the period. And finally, the Textile Minister of India concludes by saying that PM Mitra parks represent a unique model where the states and the central government will work together so that the efforts of both the center and the state will lead to initiating in investment, innovation, job creation, which would ultimately make India a global hub for textile manufacturing and exports. So this is all about the article. In this article, we dealt in detail about the PM Mitra scheme. With this, let us close this topic and move to the second topic of the day. Second topic, law panel to examine simultaneous elections. We know, right, many times our Prime Minister himself has pitched for holding simultaneous elections for Lok Sabha and State Assembly. In that line, the issue of holding simultaneous elections to Lok Sabha and State Assemblies is referred to the Law Commission of India. So in this article, let us know more about the Law Commission. First is about Law Commission of India. See, know that it is an executive body established by an order of the Government of India. And know that it was originally formed in the year 1955. From then, the commission is reconstituted every 3 years. And so far, nearly 277 reports have been submitted by the Law Commission to the Government of India. The last Law Commission under Justice B.S. Chauhan, who retired, had submitted reports and working papers on key issues such as simultaneous elections to Lok Sabha and assemblies. If we take the composition, apart from having a full-time chairperson, the commission will have 4 full-time members, including a member secretary. Here, the law and legislative secretaries in the law ministry will be the ex officio members of the commission. And know that the commission will also have a maximum of 5 part-time members. Most importantly, a retired Supreme Court judge or the Chief Justice of a High Court will head the commission. If we take the functions of the Law Commission, see, the Law Commission, either on a reference made to it by the central government or suo moto, it undertakes research in law and reviews existing laws in India for making reforms. Then it also undertakes research studies for bringing reforms in justice delivery systems, for elimination of delays in procedures, speedy disposal of cases and reduction in the cost of litigation. If we take other functions of Law Commission, it includes reviewing or repealing of obsolete laws. See, it identifies the laws which are no longer relevant and recommends for the repeal of unnecessary laws. Second is law and poverty. See, it examines the laws which affect the poor sections of the society and carries out post-audit for socio-economic legislations. And thirdly, it suggests enactment of new legislations that are necessary in order to implement the directive principles and to attain the objectives that are mentioned in the preamble of the Constitution. Fourthly, it deals with the judicial administration. As I said earlier, it conveys its views on any subjects that are related to law and judicial administration to the government. And here, know that the subjects may be specifically referred to it by the government through the Ministry of Law and Justice, or it may be a suo motu decision of Law Commission. Then the next point is, it also considers the request for providing research to any foreign countries when it is asked to do so by the Government of India through the Ministry of Law and Justice. Sixthly, it examines the existing laws with a view of promoting gender equality and also suggest amendment when needed. Then it examines the impact of globalization on food security and employment, and along with it, it also recommends measures for the protection of the interests of the marginalized sections. Also, it has a role in preparing and submitting reports to the central government from time to time related to matters, studies, and research which are undertaken by it. And in such reports, it also provides recommendations to the government for taking effective measures by the union or any state government. Then it also performs such other functions which are asked to do so by the central government. So these are the functions of Law Commission. But here you must know that the recommendations of the Commission are not binding on the government. The government may either accept or reject the recommendations provided by the Law Commission, and the actions taken on the said recommendation depends on the ministries or departments in it which are concerned with the subject matters of the recommendation. So that is all about the Law Commission of India. Now let us have an idea about the simultaneous elections which is mentioned in the article. Here we shall know about both the positives and the negatives of it. First, let us see the advantages. See, reduction in expenditure. By promoting simultaneous election, it would regulate the massive amount of expenditure that is required in multiple elections. Then second point deals with the model code of conduct. See, simultaneous elections would curb the policy paralysis that occurs because of implementing model code of conduct each and every time. Then the third point deals with delivery of services. The simultaneous elections would not impact delivery of services as the staffs would be now engaged only once for the purpose. Then it would also reduce the burden on manpower resources of the country. So the fourth point says reduce burden on manpower. Then the fifth point is the stability in governance. See, the simultaneous elections will ensure stability and lesser disruption in the normal functioning, because continuous elections have an impact on the functioning of essential services. The rallies cause traffic problems as well as loss of productivity. This was even mentioned in the 117th report of on reforms and electoral laws by the Law Commission of India. Then the sixth point deals with good governance. If all elections are held in one particular year, it will give a clear 4 years to the political parties to focus only on good governance. Then seventh point, it prevents wastage of resources. See, multiple elections unnecessarily exploit resources that are needed to conduct elections. So simultaneous elections thus saves resources, both the manpower as well as the resource deployment. Then the eighth point is the time saving. Multiple elections in a year lead to time consumption as the whole process of conducting election is repeated. Then the ninth point is cause harm to education sector. See, over a crore of government employees, including large number of teachers, are involved in the electoral process. Thus, the continuous exercise cause maximum harm to the electoral sector. Final point is that when simultaneous elections takes place, Election Commission can effectively monitor black money and other means that are used by the influential persons. So these are the advantages which you can use it in mains writing. Now let us see the challenges in it. See, the first and foremost biggest challenge to simultaneous polls lies in getting all party political consensus to bring amendments in the law. Then there lies an administrative hassles in managing all elections at the same time. Thirdly, the breaking of state assembly before the term period of 5 years would be very much will cause challenge in building political consensus. And know that to conduct simultaneous election, lot of political will is required, and this idea of simultaneous election is against the federal democracy. So critics here say that amending the constitution to effect simultaneous election would fundamentally alter the democratic and federal character. India, which is a union of states as per the constitution, provides the states to have their own directly elected governments and has fixed a term providing rights to the central government. So conducting of simultaneous elections will adversely affect the states' rights. Know that not all voters are highly educated to know who to vote for. That is, they may get confused and may not know whether they are voting for candidates contesting assembly or parliament elections. And then the issue of logistics and requirement of security personnel's election and administrative officials needed to be considered. Lastly, the local or regional issues might overshadow national issues if simultaneous elections are conducted. So these are the demerits associated with simultaneous elections. So in this article we saw about law commission in detail alongside the functions of law commission, and also about the advantages and challenges associated with simultaneous elections. So with this, let us conclude this topic and move to the third topic of the day. Coming to the third topic, International Criminal Court issues arrest warrant against Putin over Ukraine. See, the news is that an arrest warrant is issued against the Russian President Vladimir Putin by the International Criminal Court for unlawful deportation of Ukrainian children. See, the allegation against the Russian president is that he is responsible for the war crime of unlawful deportation and unlawful transfer of population, especially the children from occupied areas of Ukraine to the Russian Federation. So in this line, let us know about the International Criminal Court from exam point of view. See, it is a world's first permanent ICC, which was created by the 1998 Roman Statute that got entered into force on July 2002. Furthermore, it was created on the principle of complementarity. That is, it is only intended to complement existing national judicial systems. Therefore, it may exercise its jurisdiction only when national courts are unwilling or unable to prosecute criminals. Know that its headquarters is present in Hague, which is in the country Netherlands. And now let us know about its jurisdiction. See, the Roman Statute grants the International Criminal Court jurisdiction over 4 main crimes. First is the crime of genocide, that the acts committed with the intent to destroy national, ethnic, racial or religious group. And second one is related to crimes against humanity, that is when a large scale attack against any civilian population is made. Then the third crime is war crimes. These are grave breaches of the Geneva Conventions in context of armed conflict. And the fourth one deals with the crime of aggression. It is nothing but the use of armed forces of a state against sovereignty, integrity or independence of any other state. Here you have to know that how ICC is related to the United Nations. See, ICC is not a part of UN. As said earlier, it was established by the Roman Statute only. Here know that this treaty was negotiated within the United Nations Forum. Now coming to the territorial jurisdiction, the International Criminal Court lacks universal territorial jurisdiction. Hence, it may only investigate and prosecute criminals committed within the member states or by the nationals of member states. In addition to it, it also investigates the crime referred to it by the United Nations Security Council. If we take the member parties of ICC to become a member of International Criminal Court, states need to become a party to the Roman Statute. And as of now, there are nearly 123 ICC member countries, and 42 countries, including India, have not signed the Roman Statute. So India is not a signatory to Roman Statute, and hence India is not a member of ICC. Meanwhile, India did not sign the statute because of reasons such as state sovereignty, national interest, difficulty in collection of evidence, problem to find impartial prosecutors, and moreover, there is no definition of crime. Then if we take the funding, the court is funded by the contribution from state parties, and funds also come from voluntary contribution of governments, international organizations, individuals, corporation and other entities. If we take the limitations of ICC, the International Criminal Court has no retrospective jurisdiction. That is, it can deal only with crimes that are committed after the month of July 2002 when the Rome Statute came into force. Secondly, the ICC cannot impose a death sentence, and it can impose lengthy terms of imprisonment of up to 30 years of life. However, it also depends upon the gravity of the case. Thirdly, ICC do not have its own police force or enforcement body. Thus, it relies on the cooperation with countries worldwide for support. Finally, the court also has no jurisdiction with respect to any person who was under the age of 18 when the crimes concerned were committed. So these are the limitations of ICC. In this news article, we dealt in detail about the International Criminal Court. With this, let us close this topic and move to the fourth topic of the day. Fourth topic, horseshoe crabs disappearing off Odisha's coast. Scientists worried. The news article reports that the presence of horseshoe crabs are getting diminished across the coast of Odisha. So the scientists have urged the Union Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change to place the horseshoe crabs on the list of marine species for which species recovery plans are developed. In addition to it, the news article has also mentioned a few facts about horseshoe crabs, where it mentions the species as living fossil. This is because horseshoe crabs are one of the oldest living creatures on earth, and the paleontological studies say the age of horseshoe crabs is around 450 million years. In addition to it, the creature has lived on the earth without undergoing any morphological change due to its high immunity power. With this information added, let us know more about the horseshoe crabs from prelims point of view. See, it is a marine chelicerate arthropod that lives in shallow coastal waters, and subphylum chelicerate is a division within phylum arthropod containing animals such as spiders, scorpions, mites and ticks. Like all arthropods, horseshoe crabs also have a segmented body and segmented limbs with a thick exoskeleton. Know that horseshoe crabs live on soft, sandy or muddy bottom in the coast, and it deposits its eggs mostly on intertidal beaches, especially during the summer spring high tides. It is regarded as marine living fossil, which I explained previously, because of its prolonged existence. Then know that there are four extant horse crab species. The first is the American horseshoe crab, which is found along the eastern coast of the United States of America and in the Gulf of Mexico. Then second is the tri-spine horseshoe crab. Third is coastal horseshoe crab, and the fourth is mangrove horseshoe crab. The last three that I have mentioned now are found in the coastal waters of India, Southeast Asia, China and Japan. Most importantly, know that Odisha is their largest habitat for horseshoe crabs in India. If we take the importance, as said earlier, they have existed since the time of dinosaurs and are important ecosystem engineers and predators of small organisms. Then their large shell serves as a microhabitat for many other species such as snails, mud crabs, etc. Thirdly, they are also critical link to world health, biodiversity and hold cultural importance across the globe. Finally, the blood of this crab is very important for the preparation of rapid diagnostic reagents, where reagents are nothing but a substance that used to undertake laboratory test. Here, know that a molecule has been developed from a reagent of horseshoe crab to help in treating preeclampsia. And now the threats are over harvesting for use as food and biomedical testing. Next is the habitat destruction and habitat loss from coastal reclamation and development. The third thing is the shoreline alteration that are engineered to protect beaches from erosion and sea level rise. The fourth point is the trade in horseshoe crabs in many Indian states, in a belief that consumption of horseshoe crab meat can lengthen a person's lifespan. And the hard upper shell is of the horseshoe crab is crushed and mixed with water to prepare a paste which is applied to scars. Then if we take the conservation, the horseshoe crab is in the schedule 4 of Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, under which the catching and killing of a horseshoe crab is an offence. Then if according to the IUCN status, American horseshoe crab is vulnerable, tri-spine horseshoe crab is endangered, while the other two species, which are the coastal horseshoe crab and the mangrove horseshoe crab, are not listed yet. Keeping the vulnerability and threats in mind, the article concludes by saying horseshoe crabs breeding grounds be declared as conservation reserve in order to protect the species. So that is all about the article. Fifth and the final topic, the forecast after a fake news campaign in Tamil Nadu. This news article mentions the disinformation campaign that was carried out by anti-social elements to cause disharmony between the community of people living in North and South India. See, starting this month, what happened is that fake news was circulated in online media and digital news channels that migrants from Bihar are getting attacked by locals in Tamil Nadu. So, not knowing that this is a fake news and a rumor, the poor migrants who came to work in Tamil Nadu started panicking and they began to book trains and move to their native states. But then there was a swift action from the Tamil Nadu government where the head of the police himself puts out some specific clarifications that the video clips that are being circulated were both false and mischievous. And as a confidence building measure, the Chief Minister of the state, M.K. Stalin, visited a surgical glove manufacturing unit near the district Tirunelveli, where the CM himself interacted with the migrant workers from Jharkhand who were working in the plant and reassured them about their safety. This is what happened 2 weeks back. Here, the author mentions about the measures that are taken in Western nations to curb disinformation and also the lack of adequate measures in India to address flow of disinformation in digital medium. Firstly, the author mentions that the European Union has put out the Code of Practice on Disinformation 2022. Through this code, the European Union aims to bring in transparency in political advertising, empowerment of fact checkers and researchers, tools to flag disinformation, and also the code adds to reduce manipulative behavior. In a similar fashion, the United Kingdom has also proposed enacting an online safety bill. Through this bill, the UK government plans to actively monitor the problematic contents on social media platforms, and in addition to it, the bill also mentions the responsibility of social media platforms in curbing the harmful content on its platforms. But in India, unfortunately, there is no serious discussions on the negative impacts of disinformation. Here, the author says, even though there are certain measures taken by the union government, they tend to be non-transparent and autocratic. Moreover, the actions from the government like the shutdown of internet to curb disinformation gives no regard to the doctrine of proportionality. Here, the author also mentions a case which you can quote in your mains answer writing. In Tehsin S. Poonawalla versus Union of India case, the Supreme Court of India held that it is the duty of both the union and the state government to take steps to curb disinformation. After this, the author also mentions the flaws in the IT Act of 2000, which he says it gives absolute powers to the union government to strike down any content. His opinion is that instead of a robust framework to tackle the root cause of disinformation, the union government takes itself greater power through the IT Act, which is not going to work in curbing disinformation. Now let us see about the other flaws in the IT Act. First is lack of transparency, section 69 of IT Act. See, according to the section 69, it empowers the government to issue directions to intermediaries for blocking access to any information that it considers prejudicial. For example, if the government feels that the sovereignty and integrity of India or the national security or public order gets affected by a content on social media platforms, the government can direct the social media intermediaries to block that content. And as per the section 69A, subsection 3, it envisages a jail sentence of up to 7 years for intermediaries who fail to comply. In 2009, the government has issued blocking rules which sets up the procedure for blocking and also stated that all requests and complaints would remain strictly confidential. So the power granted to executives is so vast that the user's content gets blocked even without any due intimation. Second is the privacy issue. See, the IT Act does not address privacy issues, and here know that privacy is now a fundamental right and a law needs to specifically address privacy concerns, but that's not the case here. Third one is regarding the poor protection of cybersecurity. See, the Indian IT Act is not a cybersecurity law, and therefore it does not deal with the nuances of cybersecurity. And the Indian citizens have been victims to numerous instances of data breach and policy and privacy violations. For instance, if we take the Cambridge Analytica incident or the Aadhaar account breach of nearly 1.1 billion citizens, we can know more about that. Fourth one is regarding the lack of expertise. Regular police personnel, specifically any officer holding the rank of inspector, are responsible for investigating nefarious online activities. But the difficulty that arises here is that cyber crimes are a nuanced form of criminal activities that require years of specialized training and deep understanding of technology to probe adequately. So these are the few points regarding the IT Act of 2000. Now let us know more about the IT rules that are mentioned in the article. See, the IT rules 2021 came into force to address the social media, digital media and OTT platforms in a specific manner. Know that IT rules of 2021 aims at placing obligations on social media intermediaries to ensure open, safe and trusted internet. Now coming to the features, the new IT rules of 2021 ensures that social media companies are prohibited from hosting or publishing any unlawful information. This information is in relation to the interest of sovereignty and integrity of India, public order, or friendly relations with foreign countries. Then, if such unlawful information is hosted or published, then the government can take down such information within 24 hours. Here, the user will be given a notice before their content is taken down. Then the traceability content, that is, this provision requires the social media platforms to compulsorily identify the first originator of information in India. So this is done when the government or the court orders asks the intermediaries to do so. Then the IT rules 2021 calls for social media companies to publish a monthly compliance report. Then social media platforms are classified into two categories. That is social media intermediary platforms that have a limited user base. Then another thing is the significant social media intermediaries. These are the platforms with a larger user base of about 50 lakh users or above. Then the significant social media intermediaries should have a physical contact address in India, and also they have to appoint a chief compliance officer, nodal contact person and a resident grievance officer in India. Know that all of them should be Indian residents. So these are the points that are additionally given apart from the information provided in the opinion section. You can use these in the mains answer writing, and this is all about this article. In this article we saw about the news as well as the measures taken in the overseas and the flaws in IT Act and the general provisions in IT rules of 2021. With this, let us close the news article discussions and move to the previous year prelims question discussion. The two previous year questions that I am going to discuss here have appeared in the year 2022. Consider the first question. The term Levant, often heard in the news, roughly responds to which of the following regions? The options given are option A, region along the eastern Mediterranean shores. Option B, region along North African shores stretching from Egypt to Morocco. Option C, region along Persian Gulf and Horn of Africa. Option D, the entire coastal areas of Mediterranean Sea. See, the term Levant is an old term referring to countries of Eastern Mediterranean, and some scholars here included Cyprus and also small part of Turkey. But basically, Levant has throughout history meant Syria, Lebanon and Palestine. This means even Jordan, West Bank and Israel itself are part of Levant. So the answer for this question is option A, region along the eastern Mediterranean shores. Moving to the second question. In the context of WHO air quality guidelines, consider the following statements. First statement, the 24-hour mean of PM 2.5 should not exceed 15 microgram per meter cube and annual mean of PM 2.5 should not exceed 5 microgram per meter cube. Second statement, in a year, the highest level of ozone pollution occur during the period of inclement weather. Statement 3, PM10 can penetrate the lung barrier and enter the bloodstream. Fourth statement, excessive ozone in the air can trigger asthma. Which of the statement given above are correct? The options given are option A 1, 3 and 4, option B 1 and 4 only, option C 2, 3 and 4, option D 1 and 2 only. See, according to the guidelines, WHO guidelines, the annual average of PM 2.5 should not exceed 5 micrograms per cubic meter of air, while the 24-hour average should not exceed 15 micrograms per cubic meter. So the first statement is correct. The second statement says the highest level of ozone pollution occur during the period of inclement weather. No, this is wrong, because the reaction of pollutants such as nitrogen oxide, volatile organic compounds with sunlight causes photochemical smog. So, as a result, highest level of ozone pollution occur during period of sunny weather. So, this statement is wrong, because inclement weather means an unpleasant weather, especially with cold wind and rain. So, this is wrong. Now, if we remove the second statement, it has to be either A or B. Now let us see the third statement. It says PM10 can penetrate the lung barrier and enter the bloodstream. This is wrong, because PM10 can penetrate the lung barrier, but it cannot enter the bloodstream and all. Here you have to know that the diameter of 2.5 microns or PM 2.5 can penetrate the lung barrier and enter the bloodstream, but PM10 cannot do it. So third statement is wrong. The answer for this question is option B 1 and 4 only. So mains practice question for the day. First question, examine whether simultaneous elections are better than frequent election. Discuss various challenges for conducting simultaneous elections in India. So the aspirants can take note of this question. You can write the answers and post it in the comment section for peer review of it. So with this, we have come to the end of the news articles discussion and also discussions on previous year prelims questions and mains question. With this, let us wind up the discussion. If you like the method of teaching and if you can understand the concept well, please like, comment, subscribe and share with your friends, and also subscribe to ForumIAS in various social media platforms for further updates. Thank you for listening.